Welcome to day 16, everyone, and thank you for joining in. What I'm going to do with these next 16 days or next 15 days or so is after I hit the halfway point, talked a little bit about reflections. The next kind of goal I think to work in here for the next 15 days is to learn something new, either through the YouTube channel or like the Creator Studio or just taking different lessons to try to learn more about this, and then instituting one thing each day that I've learned. So maybe like tagging, and if I didn't know what tagging is, maybe changing the lighting or the audio. Just something to add every day for the next 15 days, and just kind of see from that very first video to the 30th video to see what has changed and if it's gotten better. I am a little nervous about editing, so maybe I'll take a lesson on editing. I don't know, but that's kind of the fun of this, is to also kind of figure out what works best, and then to learn as I go. And then one of the things that my wife mentioned is she said that I liked when I pulled, or she liked when I pulled some information from the different books that I read. And so I'm going to add something today that both her and I were talking about earlier, in response also to this quote, and then push the book. So you guys, I'm not getting paid by any of these authors. They probably don't even know I'm talking about them. But I push the book because the books that I'm offering to you, or the information I'm offering to you, are books that I really love and have done something for me. And so I just like quotes from them, and I like to offer them to you. So this is actually from The Art of Taking Action by Greg Krech. He's probably going to kill me if he ever hears this. Krech, of the To-Do Institute. Looks like To Do Institute, which would make sense of The Art of Taking Action. But the quote I liked was, "You created the legacy during the past day. You are creating that legacy at this very moment. What will you leave behind? What will you create that will outlive you? How many hearts and minds will be touched by your deeds? Use your precious moments wisely. Do what you came here to do." And I know sometimes, like, we all have these grand aspirations of things, of where we are supposed to be, or impacts that we're supposed to make. But I also believe, like, everybody has in them their particular thing. And like, I enjoy talking and communicating with others, and some people don't. Some people like to study, things like engineering, or less communicative. I shouldn't say less communicative, but more scientific minded, whereas I'm more arts minded. But whatever it is that you came here to do, to figure out, and how you can contribute, I say go for it. I had a friend of mine. He was talking about legacy, and he kind of, he's getting older, and he's kind of moving into a different part of his life. And him and I were talking about legacy, and he was just talking about, he kind of regretted a little bit what he was leaving behind. But then we reflected on it. And first, I think legacy is kind of a bunk word, because honestly, in reality, the majority of people, we're going to come and go, and we're going to make impacts on the people around us. But ultimately, there's very few of us that are going to make the history books long term, right? But we're going to have impacts while we're here, to the environments around us, to the people around us, our families, etc. And so when we reflected on his life and the things that he had done, he had left quite a bit of a legacy, as far as the people that he had touched, the things that he does and continues to do. And so I think sometimes we have this idea that it has to be this grand, huge legacy, and maybe it just has to be, in this moment, when you have this, as they said, where'd it go? You're creating this legacy during this day. You're creating the legacy at this very moment. That's kind of the point. So who you talk to, what you do, who you impact on a daily, even if it's in your job. Did you say something nice to somebody? Did you come up with something new? Did you just do your job really, really well? All of these things are a part of that legacy, right? That you're leaving behind as contributing or adding to this planet. So, but that's all I've got for today. I just wanted to kind of touch base on that, push this book a little bit, because it's one of my favorites. Again, it's called The Art of Taking Action. And and I did, yeah, I'm sorry, I did want to add one more thing to this. So, I bought, we talked earlier about my gym escapades. And so I got a new challenge for my wife today. These seems to be working for me. So I was very proud to show her. Like I used to have a lot of muscle tees when I went to the gym, and something happened, and they got stuff all over them in the laundry, and so then I didn't have any workout shirts anymore. Right? I couldn't apparently just wear a t-shirt, but I had to have muscle tees, and on top of that, I didn't really have programming. I have a bunch of books behind here, but again, just didn't have everything. So I came in today and I was like, hey, look, I got all these cool new shirts. I got this cool online programming this app that I found, and I got a gym membership. Or I got all this stuff, and she looks at me and she's like, you know what I'm going to say, right? And I was like, she's like, just do it. Give me 30 days and just do it. I don't care about all your stuff. And I think that's one of the things I wanted to touch on also, is just because we have a tendency to do a lot of things that make it look like we're doing something. We have the trappings of those things. Maybe we have a to-do list that's really long, but it doesn't really actually do anything. Like it feels good to knock them out, but when we go, what was the impact of those things? So I'll say on Monday, because this is now Friday. So I'll say on Monday I will start my 30-day challenge of that with her. Maybe I'll throw some of that in here as we're talking as well. So again, thank you for tuning in for day 16, and we will see you tomorrow.